When Daniel signed up for a weekend retreat with his coworkers, he expected hiking, good food, and maybe a few team-building games. What he did not expect was the biggest rule of the retreat: a full digital detox. No fones, no laptops, no smartwatches, no internet. All devices had to be placed in a sealed box that would stay locked for 48 hours. The moment he heard the announcement, Daniel felt a sharp twist in his stomach. He checked his phone more than 100 times a day. He answered emails during breakfast, scrolled through social media during meetings, and watched short videos until he fell asleep. The idea of being disconnected made him nervous, almost uncomfortable. But his manager encouraged everyone to treat it as an experiment. "You might learn something new about yourself," she said. Daniel sighed and placed his phone in the box, feeling as if he had just given away part of his identity. The first few hours were the hardest. His hand kept reaching for a device that was no longer there. His mind wandered, imagining messages piling up. He felt restless during conversations and struggled to focus. Without digital noise, silence suddenly felt louder than usual. That evening, the group gathered around a campfire. Without screens, people told stories, shared memories, and laughed more openly. Daniel listened quietly at first, but soon found himself joining in. For the first time in months, he felt present, fully aware of the people around him and the cool night air. Still, the fear of being away from the digital world remained in the back of his mind. The next morning, Daniel woke up earlier than usual. Without an alarm or notifications, his mind felt strangely calm. After breakfast, the retreat leader introduced several activities designed to help participants reconnect with the physical world. A long nature walk, a mindfulness session, and a creativity challenge where everyone had to draw or write something by hand. During the walk, Daniel noticed details he normally ignored: the different sounds of birds, the texture of the forest floor, the smell of wet leaves. Without music in his ears or a phone in his hand, his senses felt sharper. Nature did not rush. It simply existed. However, the detox also forced him to confront thoughts he had been avoiding. Without digital distractions, he realized how often he used his phone to escape stress or avoid emotional discomfort. He noticed how anxious he became when he could not immediately check for updates from friends or work. The mindfulness exercise challenged him even more. Sitting still, focusing on his breath, he felt waves of restlessness and boredom. But slowly those feelings softened. A quiet clarity began to appear. He understood that he had been living in constant noise, both online and inside his mind. In the creativity challenge, Daniel surprised himself. He wrote a short reflection about how he had forgotten what it felt like to think without searching online for answers. He realized that his attention had been scattered for months, pulled in every direction by endless notifications and digital habits. By the end of the second afternoon, something inside him began to shift. He did not miss his phone as much as he expected. In fact, he felt lighter. When the final morning arrived, the retreat leader brought out the sealed device box. Everyone watched quietly as she unlocked it. Daniel held his phone for a moment without turning it on. It felt strangely heavy, like a responsibility instead of a toy. He hesitated before pressing the power button. When the screen lit up, hundreds of messages, emails, and alerts flooded in at once. But instead of excitement, Daniel felt a wave of exhaustion. He realized how easily digital life could overwhelm him, how quickly his mind slipped back into old patterns. During the closing discussion, each participant shared what they had learned. Daniel explained that the detox had revealed how dependent he had become on constant stimulation. He had forgotten how to rest, how to observe, how to breathe without checking something. The retreat reminded him that attention was a limited resource, and he had been giving it away too freely. Before leaving, he made a promise to himself. He would not abandon technology, but he would not let it control him again. He planned to set boundaries, checking messages only at certain times, taking short daily breaks from screens, and keeping one device-free hour every evening. When he returned home, the world felt familiar but different. He noticed small things again: the warmth of morning sunlight, the taste of his coffee, the softness of quiet moments. The digital detox had not changed who he was, but it changed how he lived. Daniel understood that survival in the digital age did not mean rejecting technology. It meant learning to balance connection with clarity. And for the first time in a long while, he felt grounded, present, and fully awake in his own life.